It's just been all, these attempted break-ins. I wasn't there when these things happened, but this stuff hasn't happened until they were living here in our basement.
You are going to feel so much better when you just explain why.
I didn't do anything.
Well, we don't want to take up any more of your time. It's pretty pathetic.
Hey you, and welcome. My name is Mike, and in this little video, we are going to Ohio, to a small city called Strongsville, because there, one family had been experiencing this, reign of terror. A year of terror. Someone had been trying to break into their house again and again and again. They had seen mysterious figures in their backyards, stalking them. They never felt safe in their own home. Scary stuff, as we can imagine, but this would culminate in the ultimate tragedy when someone attacked the mother inside the house. To add to the tragedy, the family's daughter was due to be married to a nice young man in just a couple of days. So who were these creepy characters, and what was going on? Before we get into it, please click that little old subscribe button to see new videos every single week. Now, let's give it a go. Cuyahoga County, Strongsville, it's a nice place to live. 46,000 people who live there. I mean, I've never been there, so maybe they're all liars. I don't know. It's a suburb of Cleveland, and by most rankings it gets an A. Housing, family life, nightlife, crime, diversity, in all it gets top marks. It's safe, you got a little bit of everything there, it's nice to raise a family, and its schools, by most accounts, are exceptional. So you have a well-educated population who know a lot about the world, a boon to any society. And when people document their experiences in the city, it's positive. So let's stick with education in the town, or more specifically, its educators. In the middle of town lies Strongville Middle School, and a woman that worked there was 49-year-old Melinda Pleskovic, a 27-year veteran of the Strongsville school system. To say Melinda was well-liked, that would be an understatement. She was everybody's favorite teacher. She taught 6th grade language arts, and her students were only mad about Melinda. Melinda Pleskovic, born Melinda Showman, was a native Ohioan. In the year 2017, when our story takes place, Melinda had been married to her husband, Bruce Pleskovic, for 25 years. Together, Melinda and Bruce had 3 children. Megan, Anna, and Kyle. And she was in fact a grandmother to Aurora, daughter of Anna. She was a very kind and loving mother to her children too, especially 18-year-old Kyle, who was, he had Down syndrome and he was non-verbal. He was like the baby of the family and everybody just doted over him. So, it was Monday, October 23rd, 2017, a week before Halloween. Ohio is well known for its autumnal vibes, with pumpkin festivals galore. The wind and the clouds were up, the leaves that were underfoot were red and orange, and there was certainly a chill in the air to accompany the vampires, ghosts, and ghouls. In fact, there had been ghouls around a particular house in Strongsville for a while. That Monday late afternoon, around 4:30 p.m., Melinda was at home with her son Kyle. Bruce, he was at work, and usually by around this stage, most days, it being a Monday, he'd be getting ready to finish up, but for whatever reason, he was working a little bit late that day. And so at around 4:30 p.m., Melinda texted Bruce their dinner plans for the day, and that was pretty common. Melinda would always or regularly text Bruce, about their dinner plans, okay, we're going to have this, we're going out here, could you pick up this, etc., etc. That late October, when the evenings were getting darker, colder, and creepier, his phone did the verp. This time, though, she was simply texting him to meet her at Brew Kettle. The Brew Kettle seems like a nice place just outside of town. It's a brewery/restaurant. Bruce texted back to no response, and then a little bit later he logged off work and he headed over to the Brew Kettle to meet his wife for dinner. But when he got there, nobody around. Odd. Bruce kind of hung around for a bit, he was texting Melinda, he was calling her to no response whatsoever. So he was kind of hanging around Brew Kettle wondering maybe there'd been a mix-up or whatever, but he didn't want to drive home only to have to drive back. So he just kind of was hanging out there for a while, when eventually his soon-to-be son-in-law, a guy named Jeffrey Scullin, he texted and called Bruce. See, living with Bruce and Melinda, as well as Kyle, was their daughter, 20-year-old Anna, and Anna's fiancé, 20-year-old Jeff Scullin. And of course, Anna and Jeff's 15-month-old daughter, Aurora. They were due to be married in literally a few days. This was Monday. They were due to get married on the following Saturday. And they'd been living with Bruce and Melinda for almost a year at this stage as a way to save up a few bob, wedding season, saving for a house. It can be expensive. So Bruce and Melinda had asked them to move in with them, stay in the basement. It'll help you, save a bit of scuttle. So Jeff, he in fact texted Bruce and was like, oh yeah, I couldn't get you to Melinda either, but I'm at Applebee's with your granddaughter. I'm having some dinner. Why don't you come over here? We can hang out, some little, father, soon-to-be son-in-law bonding time before the wedding. Bruce said, yep, sure. Maybe Melinda had texted the wrong place by accident for whatever reason. Maybe she meant to say Applebee's. She simply said Brewhouse. But whatever. So Bruce, he went to Applebee's only a couple of minutes away. He hung out with Jeff. He hung out with his granddaughter Aurora. He had a burger. He had a beer. And that was it. They were shooting the shit. He was a little bit confused, though, as to why his wife Melinda hadn't shown up. She wasn't answering texts nor calls. And Jeff would say the exact same to him. Melinda wasn't responding. So he was getting a little bit confused and worried. So after they finished up in Applebee's, the three of them then were going back, because remember Jeff and Aurora lived with them. So the three of them went back to the Pleskovic home. South of the city centre was a little cul-de-sac called Blazing Star Drive. That's where the Pleskovics lived. Arriving at around 8 p.m, Bruce saw that the lights in the house were on. Melinda's car was there, so his wife was likely home. Maybe there had been an incident with her, or with their 18-year-old son, Kyle. Now, neither of them actually had a key to the home at that very moment, weirdly enough. But they did have a keypad, to unlock the door, but that wasn't working either. They were locked out. However, eventually Kyle, the 18-year-old, he was in the house and he eventually walked over, seeing them outside, walked over and let them in. And so the lads then rushed into the house, wondering what was going on. Bruce immediately found Melinda on the ground in the kitchen, and she was covered in blood. He dialed 911, and Jeff did the same.
911, what's the city of your emergency?
Strongsville, Ohio. We have people on the way already.
What's the address?
We're Blazing Star.
I need to ask you questions, okay? Are you there right now?
I just got in the door with my new son-in-law. My son was here with her.
Sir?
Her face hit the ground and there's blood. There's a pool of blood.
See if she's breathing?
No, she is not. She sent me a text to meet me at Brew Kettle at 4:25. I didn't hear from her. I didn't expect this.
No, sir, I understand you're upset, but where's Kyle at in the home?
He's outside with Jeff, our son-in-law. We've asked people to watch our frickin' area. We've had people attempt to break in just this week.
Sir,
I don't know what's going on in this city,
sir,
but this is getting done here.
I understand you're upset, but can you give me your name, please?
No, you
Sir,
people dropped them.
Sir, can you just take a deep breath? Is there any...
This whole city's getting freaking taken over. We've had a break in all year. These things have been stolen and missing. We're getting targeted, and I don't know by who's doing this, but I'm pissed.
Somebody's been attacked in my house.
Somebody's been what?
Attacked. Mel Pleskovic. Mel Pleskovic was attacked.
He was attacked by whom? Do you know?
She was. No, we just came home. She's on the kitchen floor. I took her son and my daughter outside. Her husband is inside with her now.
So the husband attacked her?
No. We just came home.
Okay. Do you see any forced entry or anything to the house?
I'm outside. The door was locked.
Shot 3 times, stabbed dozens of times in the back. It's like she had been ambushed in her own home. And to think that 18-year-old Kyle was also there the entire time this happened. Jeff and Bruce would speak to the police, and it would come to light that the family had been harassed for months leading up to this. There had been break-ins, missing items, things stolen from the home. Jeff Scullin would say he had been in the kitchen just a few days prior and happened to look outside and saw a dark figure opening the side door, a hand slowly wrapping itself around the handle. The family dog chased the figure away, but it seems like whoever had been stalking them had been getting closer and closer. Had these people finally truly made their way inside? Had Melinda interrupted them while there was a home invasion going on? Or had she been the target? Had that been their intention to finally get in and kill? Drive is a nice residential area, but there are a lot of open spaces around. Trees, a highway nearby, and not to mention a large reservation just a stone's throw away. There's a lot of entryways and a lot of places the killer, or killers, could have escaped to. This was like that movie The Strangers. The Pleskovics haunted by some crazy people out there, haunted for almost a year. You could nearly imagine that during Halloween, a week from now, that someone might knock at the door, but they wouldn't be playing at Monster. They be being. So who were these, creepy characters? It was like they were invisible. It's like they were ghosts or something. They were impossible to be tracked. The police couldn't find them at all. But if you didn't want to be tracked online, that is, what would you use? Well, the answer is NordVPN, of course. Nord is the very best in the business when it comes to online anonymity. If you do not want to be tracked or you want people to think you're from anywhere else in the world, use Nord. That's what I do. Right? So, because I'm always researching true crime cases and I constantly come up against this content is not available in your location. And I think, well, shucks. Ow. Then I just clickety-clackety NordVPN, set my location to be somewhere else. Ta-da! I legit used a couple of different other VPN providers before I got to Nord, and I've never once switched from Nord since. Guess what? Using a VPN? That's not all Nord does for you. Nord doesn't only keep your location safe and secure, hiding your IP address. Nope, not where you go to use the bathroom, your internet address. It also has incredible features like Nord's MeshNet, where you can safely connect to any other device in the world if you want to transfer files or anything like that where you can't be tracked. Or how about a password manager, a data scanner, or Nord's very own threat protection that keeps you safe from any hackers, people after you, malicious websites, trackers, phishing, ransomware. All of that can take a hike. Nord's goal is and always has been to make the internet better than it is today, free from online threats, censorship, and surveillance. Things I think we all can get behind if we want to have a free and safe society. So when it comes to being online, Nord does just that. So become safer with it by downloading NordVPN today. And if you use my special little link, that means exclusive, aka just for you, nordvpn.com/thatchapter. They have an incredible deal. Get a NordVPN 2-year plan and also 4 months for free. It's absolutely risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. You literally cannot lose. So keep your internet safe, secure, and free by going to nordvpn.com/thatchapter and getting a deal specially for you. Once again, with a 30-day money-back guarantee, you can't lose. Thank you so much to NordVPN for sponsoring That Chapter. Now let's get back to it.
Residents we spoke with on Blazing Star Drive in Strongsville haven't had any issues living here, but numerous police reports show otherwise at the Pleskovic home. Starting earlier this year, a series of pranks and crimes, these reports show, played out here. A laptop stolen from the family car. Teens hiding behind their house. In September, Melinda Pleskovic called police to say someone had taken her car keys.
Pleskovic had complained of multiple burglaries at their home prior to this incident, and her husband claimed police dropped the ball after finding her dead. Now, police say that there was not a rash of break-ins in the area and haven't said that the public is in any danger.
Bruce and Jeff went down to the police station and began speaking with the cops. The police also got warrants to search Bruce, Melinda's, and Jeff's cars. See, as I said, these creeps hadn't actually entered the house until now. But since January, the prior January, they had been trying to. They had broken into their cars. In January, Bruce's laptop was stolen from his car while it was parked in his driveway. In July, 3 people were spotted hiding in their backyard, creeping on the house. And as you can see, it'd be easy to run away and escape into the darkness. Not long after, someone stole Melinda's car keys, and she would constantly find her car unlocked and the alarm going off. Then in September, somebody had physically tried to enter the home. Police responded, multiple times. They would search the neighborhood, but each and every time they would find jack shit. So now that this was a murder, and that the cars had previously been broken into, the police wanted to search their cars, as maybe they could find the fingerprints to who these intruders had been, in the cars. They might have left, DNA or fingerprints, especially in Melinda's car, but they wanted to search them all, just in case.
Okay, Bruce, I know there's a lot going on tonight, so let me just introduce myself again. So my name is Detective Stoltz.
Okay.
This is Detective Strong.
Hi.
And like I said at the house, we appreciate you coming back. You're not under arrest. You're not in any trouble. You're free to leave at any time. Okay? So with so much going on at the house, I know you've spoken to some other officers, but you and I haven't had a chance to sit down and talk one-on-one. So we're going to try to piece this day and night together, for me. So, and then once we're done here, you're free to leave at any time, but we're reading out you with your family. Okay.
I'll answer.
Okay.
I wrote down all that stuff, the timeline today.
Okay, well, bear with me. I haven't read anything, so we're just gonna we're literally gonna start from the morning this morning, and then go from there. But let me
the alarm.
Just give me 1 second, okay, just to catch up.
I'll meet me at Brew Kettle from Mel. Didn't come from her. She did not send me that. That wasn't. It came from her phone. She didn't send that, in my opinion. I'm a little scared right now, a little nervous about what the hell happened. Or who did this. I don't get it. So I got to the Brew Kettle at, I want to guess 5:15, 5:30. And I said I'm at the Brew Kettle. I think I missed, that spell check screwed up my statement, what I wanted to tell her, and then I did something else. And then I said, I'll be here. And then I went inside the Brew Kettle, just kind of walked in, didn't see her, kind of was waiting around in the front there. Because it makes no sense. We were there the night before. Why would she want to go there again? She isn't a fan of their beer. I mean, she only likes like one or two that are little, like, sweeter ones. She doesn't like the bitter, the cream, for her, because we were all there yesterday.
How long were you in the Brew Kettle for?
Or waiting around there?
Yeah, you think?
Oh, God. See, my phone will have it, the text. And it was kind of weird because Jeff called me about 4 or 5 times. And we got into a little bit of an argument. You'll see it, a text on Thursday night. And it's just a buildup of everything that's of being at our house for 2 years. And I kind of let him have it a little bit. That's, let the young kid know. But I will say I had a lot of drinks Thursday. There's a lot of other stress built up that's going on with the.
Outside of the potential of losing your job, there's a lot of stress going on.
Yeah, the job, the people, the people trying to break into our house.
Okay.
We've called the police. Recently we've had some money taken off our. It started back in February or March.
When speaking with the police, Bruce told them about the weird events that had been happening, and he, in fact, had his suspicions about who was behind it. One was that Bruce was always conveniently out of the house when one of these incidents would happen. Bruce never saw anything himself, and it was his own house, he was king of the castle. Right, so he was like, that's odd, because I usually see things that are going on around me. And the second thing was that these incidents only started happening when Jeff and Anna moved in with them. He thought maybe they could be behind what was going on, or that someone might be lying. This had never happened before in all his years of living there, and then Jeff and Anna move in, suddenly they're being stalked. Weird.
This year is this weird, things going missing, things getting stolen out of my car, keys going missing. Our car, someone has our car keys, and our car alarm's been going off, every so often, and we think it's a neighbor, and we think it's someone else. It's kind of, I'm gonna wait till see what you guys. But this stuff hasn't happened until they were living here in our basement. Now, I'm not suspecting them of anything. I did, we did confront and ask, Jeff and Anna, but he
asked them what?
If they took the money or if they grabbed them. I'm not one to accuse, but you guys didn't grab the money. At some point they gotta know. We gotta wonder if they're doing this or not. And keys going. It's just been all these attempted break-ins. I wasn't there when these things happened. I don't think it's all bullshit. I mean, theoretically, it could be.
Do you notify us every time that occurs?
Yes, there should be a few notifications.
About how many you think?
4 or 5. I think Mel calls them in, or Jeff says he does. I don't.
All this year?
Yeah, everything's this year.
How long is Jeff and Anna been living at home?
When they announced she was pregnant, so that would be if the baby is over a year. So let's say 2 years. Now, I'm not trying to blame him. I just
No, I just.
But when I look back and think through some stuff, it's like these things are happening, but I'm not there when these things happen. I've lived in that house 16 years, and we back up to the common area there, and over there's always been some kids playing back there. There's a kid catty corner who liked to shoot off fireworks at 3 a.m. for and I heard him out the window saying, "Hey, let's shoot it at that house." And I was kind of watching out the window. I go, "Whose house are you shooting it at?" He's a kid. I'm just trying to scare him a little bit. Kids, movie kids. So it's, when these kind of things happen, I'm there and I see them. But these break-ins, I wasn't there in the middle of the night when it was about 2:45, and everyone was woken up and wondered, and these guys took off all of a sudden. When Jeff grabbed the door, these two guys grabbed the door, and all of a sudden they took off. And then this last one was this past Thursday. Someone tried to open the door, and this kid took off. He jumped over the creek and was gone up the street behind our house. I wasn't there when it happened either. I'm going on his word that these things happen.
Mm-hmm. And if he was making it up, what would be your theory of why would you think he'd make that up?
I don't know. But here's one thing. I want him to do a lot more stuff around the house, like here and there. He says he can do this, this, and that, and he'll do this, he'll fix this, and then it doesn't get done. And that's another reason Thursday I don't think he's making this up. I don't know it. But now what happened today, I don't think he.
Okay, well let's get back on track with tonight.
But he did say that overall he liked Jeff. He thought he was a good guy, a hard worker. A HVAC employee was his job.
You don't seem very happy about Jeff, though. That's kind of like...
I am. I like the kid a lot, and the fact that, I want them to get married and stuff. It's the house is a mess. Where they live, it's a mess.
We saw it.
After he showers, he doesn't really, just kind of throws the towel. Part of my routine, I kind of take any wet towels I'm going around and throwing them out to make sure they dry. He's kind of a little lazy at times like that, but he's doing well. He's taking they're. I haven't seen the bottom line, but he's supposedly buying a house right by Strongsville there, but I haven't seen the paper. I'm not privy to the details. He says he's paying cash with it, like his grandparents have some money like that.
Who do you think would have done something like this to Mel?
No one in my family is capable of this.
Because
no one in my family is capable of this.
Melinda's funeral followed, right when Anna and Jeff should have been getting married. A shocking event for the entire community, and there was a lot of fear in the area. Halloween was on the verge of being cancelled in Strongsville. Jeff was then interviewed by the police. He said he'd been home in that house the day of the murder. He'd been hanging out. Melinda was out. Jeff waited until Kyle came home from school. Then Melinda arrived, and then Jeff went to meet his cousin. He was due to come home before the Applebee's dinner with Bruce to change his clothes, but he found the house to be locked, so he just went straight to meet Bruce. Then, this happened.
All right, then let me welcome you all to the city of Strongsville. My name is Charles Goss. I'm the Director of Public Safety here in Strongsville. We have a very short briefing that we're going to present today. Let me apologize in advance that, again, as we said in the release, we're not going to be able to answer questions or give interviews because this case is still actively under investigation. This afternoon, we're here to report that we have arrested 20-year-old Jeffrey William Scullin, Jr. in connection with the brutal murder of Melinda Pleskovic. Jeffrey William Scullin, Jr. is believed to be the fiancé of the victim's daughter, and it was reported that he had been living in the home of the victim. Jeffrey William Scullin, Jr. has been charged with aggravated murder, and the case is being forwarded to the Cuyahoga County Prosecutor's Office for review.
When police searched Melinda's, Bruce's, and Jeff's vehicles, they found in Jeff's blood Melinda's blood. They also found a tactical knife, which was covered in Melinda's blood too. Jeff was taken in again, confronted with this information.
So you want me to go tell that family you're going to let me go out there and not be able to give them any understanding.
Sir,
So they could sit there at night and wonder why this would happen to their mother, the same person that took you into their home as one of their own. And that's what you're going to leave me with?
I'm not trying to do anything. I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything. I didn't do that to Anna. I didn't do that to Aurora. I didn't do it. I did this to my baby.
You would never intend to. You wouldn't want to. Unfortunately, Jeff, things happen. Okay? And if you want, the worst thing you can do is not let anybody understand what happened. Okay? Listen, Anna and Bruce could have some peace with this, but only you can provide that. Okay? A terrible, terrible thing has happened. Do you understand? Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Melinda is gone, and she's not ever coming home again. She's never going to get to handle Kyle again. Okay? You caused that. You understand? You caused that. And now you're going to sit here and continue with this behavior of lying. And you can't let that happen, Jeff. This is your opportunity to do something good for a change. Let's switch this up. Stop lying to the police and ruining a family. Maybe you can take a step in the right direction. Okay? This is your chance to do something good. Now tell us what happened. What did Melinda do? What caused this?
I didn't do anything.
Jeff,
I didn't do anything.
Right now, I don't want to hear those words come out of your mouth again. What happened that day? Jeff.
You know what? Maybe you just are a bad person. Maybe it's just a waste of time.
I didn't do anything.
And then everybody will just know that, and that's what they'll go to bed with. You're just not a good person. Even bad people eventually do the right thing. You're not one of them, apparently. You're just a bad person, right?
But you're sitting here because the physical evidence is going to show what you did, Jeff. To be honest with you, we don't need a confession from you. So that's up to you.
The confession, in honesty, Jeff,
we're trying to help the family.
It's going to help your family. Melinda's family is going to help you. You may not feel that right now. Do you want to lay down, finally just lay down and like, I finally did something right. I'm trying to make the best of the situation. I want to come home with my daughter.
I didn't do it. I would never do this. I didn't do this. I didn't do anything. I left. I left.
Hey, Jeff, I'm not going to yell at you.
I'm not.
I'm going to ask you as nicely as I can. I'm going to explain this as nicely as I can. Jeff, you right now can do something good out of something bad.
Jeff, is this sunk in? You're under arrest for murder right now.
Well, we don't want to take up any more of your time. We have a responsibility to talk to the family, your family. All right. So you could embarrass yourself, and when you'll have the opportunity to make a phone call at some point. You can embarrass yourself and try to fool mom and everybody else.
I'm trying to fool anyone.
You know, it's pretty pathetic.
Man up about this, Jeff.
I'm telling you.
We're here.
I never hurt her. I never did anything.
You are going to feel so much better when you just explain why.
I didn't do anything. What did you want then?
That night?
No, what you asked a minute ago. What was it called?
Polygraph.
Sure.
Jeff, what would your mom say if you asked her if you should tell the truth right now?
I didn't hurt Melinda. I never did anything to Melinda. I left.
He denied having anything to do with it, and he then agreed to take a polygraph. This'll prove my innocence, lads. I'm gonna ace that. Yeah. He failed.
Planning to become part of the family. But now police believe the one who made the call to save Pleskovic's life was the one who ended it. More sad news, leaving this community wondering what really happened and trying to piece it together.
My mind is just boggled by the whole fact that it was this close to home, that someone had done something. But the thing that shocked me the most is how brutal it was.
It might be a small sense of relief for some, but not everyone is convinced police have the right person.
Well, I could not see him as a murderer.
A friend of Scullin's, who asked to remain anonymous, says there's more to this story.
I remember in high school he mentioned so much about how he was not happy with part of his family. So for me to find out that there was a murder on the other side of the family, it's just a little awkward for me.
Another friend says Scullin is, quote, a loving, caring, and honest friend and family type of guy. And he was completely shocked because it doesn't match up with his personality at all.
Jeff, as it turned out, has secrets. One secret in particular, which Melinda, it's believed, found out about. Jeff's story, though, about what really happened went a little something like this. He said that Melinda arrived home that day, after Kyle got there, and for some reason, just out of the blue, Melinda began claiming that Jeff was not the father of Aurora. For some reason. Just kind of came out with it. Jeff thought this is bizarre as all hell. He took Aurora out, put her in his car, and then walked back into the kitchen, and this time Melinda had a gun and a knife with her. Just randomly. She pointed the gun at him. There was a struggle, there was a fight, and somehow in all of this the gun went off, shooting Melinda 3 times. Then Jeff says, oh, I just saw red. And that was it.
Reached up and just kind of snatched it from her. She wasn't holding it. I grabbed it. When I was pulling it away from her, it kind of just went off. And after that, that's where it was like, I don't really exactly understand. But everything's all like blurry. I don't know. It's kind of just like I lost control, I think.
He then said he drove to his own family's house and he hid the gun there, and the police did find the gun, but his story makes 0 sense. It seemed like he was inventing it on the spot, because it's a real shitty story. Jeff stung to high heaven, as you might be able to gather by how annoying he is in the police interviews. Police began to look into those supposed break-ins and people in the yard Jeff claimed to see. They found a neighbor who did have security cameras, and never once on the dates in question were there mysterious figures seen going to or coming from the Pleskovic house. Police believed Jeff made all the break-ins up, and he was the one in fact stealing to make it appear that they were being terrorized. Why? Well, so that when he killed Melinda, there would be a history of nefarious characters kind of around, these mysterious boogeymen. There was a confrontation on that day of the murder, but it wasn't random. In fact, it seems like Melinda and Jeff kind of had a history of disagreements.
What does your wife think of him overall in general? What does she think of him?
She likes him, but every time she says something about something, he always talks, mouths back a little bit. Mm-hmm. You could tell they were kind of butthead personality-wise. They butt heads. Yeah, but she's pushing. Girls, when it comes to weddings, it's a girls thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and she's trying to help Anna out, and because they're young, and she's pushing the timetable of all this stuff. Well, Sunday night is when this money was due, and all day long, it's like excuses. There's all these like excuses and stuff. It's kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
See, Melinda was murdered on the Monday, and Jeff and Anna were due to be married on the following Saturday. Jeff's credit card to pay for the wedding venue and all that. Well, it's clear he didn't have any money in his credit card because his card was declined 14 times was his card declined. Jeff, it appears, was absolutely broke. The wedding was in fact cancelled. The only people who knew about this were Jeff and then later Melinda when the venue contacted Melinda to let her know. It's believed then Melinda confronted Jeff about it, and so he killed her? For that. Which is insane too. It doesn't make sense, any of this. Why would you kill her for that? Had he been planning the murder for a year? Why even kill someone over this? And if she hadn't confronted him, would he have killed her anyway? Jeff was a thief who had no money. He was stealing from the family, inventing creepy horrors around them to cover up what he did. He was doing this to his own soon-to-be family after they let him into their own home. He then brutally killed the mother. Jeff went on trial in 2018, pleading not guilty. His defense saying the confession was coerced, yada yada yada. However, right before he was due to stand trial, Jeff pled no contest. This avoided the trial, so basically he wasn't admitting to what he had done, but he knew there was evidence to convict them. He was ultimately sentenced to life without parole for 33 years.
The victim, Melinda Pleskovic, just 49 years old. was savagely murdered by you, Mr. Scullin, in the kitchen of her home, which she had generously made your home. You shot her 3 times and stabbed her a minimum of 35 times. You did so while her son, Kyle, who has Down syndrome, must have been or was in the home. You did so with your own daughter and her granddaughter, Aurora, close by. Then you had the audacity to sit down for dinner with her husband, Bruce, at Applebee's, where their daughter, Hannah, worked.
A real motive has never been uncovered. The credit card business and all that's true, but Jeff has never himself said why he did it, as he has never admitted guilt.
Because of his heinous crimes, my brother lost the best mother a child with Down syndrome could possibly have. My father lost his best friend and soulmate. My sister and I no longer have our smart, beautiful, and respectable role model mother to guide us. And my daughter, Aurora, lost her cherished granny. The worst part is that someday I will have to sit her down and explain this horrifying nightmare to her. I'll have to find a reason as to why her father chose incarceration and lies instead of his baby girl. And to be honest, I have no idea where to even begin.
And Sinead. Story of a thief and a coward who really did take the coward's way out by never truly admitting why he did what he did and never really even admitting he did it. Just saying, you'll find me guilty, so I'll plead no contest. A man who invented his own fantasy to cover up his dastardly deeds, y'all. And as we can see in the interview, a very annoying character. Jeffy, you suck so bad. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you being here, watching this whole video with Misha. It means the world. Here, if you're looking for more stuff, please check out the That Chapter podcast, which is a brand new episode out every single Monday mañana. But other than that, I'll have a new video for you in just a couple of days, so please give it a go. But until then, please take care of each other, please take care of yourselves, because I love you. Mike out.